Thank you. Got it. There we go. Recording in progress. I got it. Thank you, Sterny. On behalf of the World Community Services Committee for our club, I'm very happy to introduce Helal Mohiuddin. As has been mentioned, he is the project director of our global grant, FANE, Female Adolescents Non-Formal Education for the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. Helal is also the professor of political science and sociology at the North-South University in Bangladesh and a research fellow with St. Paul's College at our own University of Manitoba. He obtained his PhD in 2004 in anthropology from the University of Manitoba, Masters of Science and in Regional Planning from the Asian Institute of Technology in Thailand, and a Bachelor of Social Science and Master of Social Science in Sociology from the University of Dhaka in Bangladesh. Throughout his research and teaching career since 1993, Dr. Mohiuddin has taught at the University of Chittagong and the University of Dhaka in Bangladesh, the University of Manitoba, the University of Winnipeg, and Menno Simons College at the Canadian Mennonite University, also here in Winnipeg. His research interests and specialization are globalization-led changes in social dynamics, livelihood strategies, Indigenous knowledge systems, gender and development, disaster preparedness, participatory development, qualitative research, and social and political movements. Very broad range of interests. And as a researcher, Dr. Mohiuddin has worked with many humanitarian organizations such as UNICEF, UNDP, UN Women, UN Volunteers, and on the list goes. He is one of the founders of the CRRIC, which is the Conflict and Resilience Research Institute in Canada, based here in Winnipeg. He has co-authored and edited and co-edited 7 books and published 35 articles and book chapters in reputed national, international journals. Professor Mohiuddin contributed to 40 social research projects as a principal investigator, also known as a PI, wouldn't you know that? Co-investigator and a team member. In addition, Dr. Mohiuddin has contributed to 18 training and workshop sessions as a resource person and attended many international conferences. We have a very well documented and qualified person here to tell us about our wonderful global grant. Over to you, Helal. Proud to have you here.
Thank you very much, Gary, for your wonderful introduction. And welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I will not take that long. In today's presentation, I will be discussing about the project layout and the profile, then our activities, how we proceeded, progressed, what are the outcomes until now. And then I will look for some suggestions from you because there are some emerging problems. But overall, it's a very unique project. I must thank the Rotary International and the Global Grants, especially here, the activists who have done a lot over the years, Srini and then Cameron, Dr. Kausar and others. We sat for, I don't know how many meetings, maybe 20 plus sessions in different occasions, and we are very persistent. We did not really want to lose the project. At some point, we got frustrated because there were not any ray of hope. For different reasons, we don't have time to detail all these incidents and events of the past. But the thing is that now it is progressing very well, and we are in the field. Fieldwork is, giving us different insight, very unique insights. One of the most important features of this project is that there are about 2,200 different learning centers in the Rohingya camps, run by UNHCR, UNICEF, BRAC, and many other NGOs. But this one is very unique because we are talking about transformative model that it will be passed forward to others. The beneficiaries that we have at this moment, 100 children, adolescents in their early adolescence, and it will not remain within them. It will be transmitted into society in different forms and different layers. We are still working on that. So I am going to the project layout just one by one. The main goal was to educate the most disadvantaged Rohingya female adolescents, in the sense that almost 90% of them never went to any school, any kind of formal school. They did not even know alphabets because they were kept secluded from the mainstream Myanmar. They were not really allowed to go to school. That was the reason. This is why they did not have any formal educations. They had some religious educations on ground from family and from other sources, but those were not really, giving them any benefit and level and any scope or opportunity to do anything in society, to integrate in any kind of society. So they were kind of illiterate in just raw sense, if we go to say that way, that they did not have basic literacy at all, even not familiarity with any kind of alphabets. So education for the most disadvantaged, in that sense, they were the most disadvantaged, and among them, female were the most disadvantaged, and adolescents were. We can't just explain to you how horrible this, terrible their situation was, because whenever they reach puberty, this is a tendency among the Rohingya community to wet them out and to keep them confined in the house so that they don't go out. There are different reasons. Security is one of the reasons. Other reasons were religious. And there are many other complex social relationships and community dynamics that made them take all these decisions, and everything went against the adolescent, female adolescents especially. They were not really encouraged to take any kind of formal education, even non-formal education, because there are many NGOs that are providing non-formal education. So they had the opportunities when they came to Bangladesh and took refuge. But the thing was that the family was not supportive, their community was not supportive at all. That's why they lagged behind all the time. So it was our main objective, and project objective was somewhat different and unique. That now many other organizations, many other NGOs that have different projects there, they're also encouraging, and they're just acknowledging the importance of this model, especially the idea. So we went to experiment it. It was an experimental project. It's a pilot project. It's not a full-fledged project until now. So it was a kind of experimentation, and that went very well. And our project lifespan was as designed 1 year. Probably it will stretch one more month, 13 months or 14 months, for obvious reasons. I will explain why it will take a little longer. And then monitoring and evaluation, we did it consistently. We're in the field all the times, most of the time. When I was not there, I had another person, monitoring and evaluation expert. He's also a university professor in another university in Chittagong, near Cox's Bazar. So he used to go there, and we had almost everyday basis communication with the implementer, Prantik, the local NGO. The NGO is very efficient, very capable, and they performed above expectation. We didn't really expect that much from them, but they wanted to build their profile and to make a good reputation in the NGO field. And this is why they are very proactive, and they're doing really very well. Now they have all sorts of capacities, and they went for further capacity building with this new idea, because it's giving them some special sort of, fascination in doing education programs and going for something else. Okay, so monitoring and evaluation took place bi-monthly, and we had trainings as well whenever needed. So as and when needed basis, trainings were provided. We had 4 staff workshops, formal workshops, then 2, 3 training of the teachers, and another one refresher training. The guiding principles were simple, very simple, that it needs to be sustainable. That's why we really designed and modeled the project as transformative learning. Like, the learners will become peer educator at some point, and others will become their peer students. And this way it will be a good outreach program, and it will continue even the project phases out. This project phases out. That was the main idea. And another principle was girls empowerment. It was essential at that point. Then development of leadership quality and voluntarism. It was also essential for them because they needed to come out of their household confinement. How we selected the learners, we can't just say that we had a very rigid framework to choose the learners. Rather, we did a kind of reconnaissance in the field. We went there again and again, 3 or 4 times, and then did all the feasibility studies. Wherever needed, we went to different households, from one house to another house. And then there were some government guidelines. We had to follow that. We had to check their ages. Government has all the registration, all children's registration. We had to collect all those information from the government and take permission from the government. But the main focus, our main focus was, those were the just processual sides. Other than that, we had principle to choose the learners, how we would be choosing the learners. One was those who never attended school. Simply, we can say with zero literacy, zero numeracy, we chose them. And then there were school dropouts, especially in the host communities. They are not from the refugee communities. School dropouts, they dropped out maybe at elementary stage, grade 1, grade 2, had only alphabets, familiarity with alphabets, nothing more than that. They were not even able to construct a sentence or a word, or they were not able to read, write, or just speak in Bengali or any other languages. So we picked them. There were different challenges in doing that because the camps are very widespread, and different parts of the camps were controlled by different people, different majis, community leaders. Other than community leaders, there were some, antisocial elements too, and we had to take care of that because of security concerns. We did not want to put our staffs under any threat, and not the kids either. And this is why we had to be very careful about all those ground level realities. And taking into consideration all those realities, we made whatever necessary adjustments we wanted to do. Sometime we contacted with police, sometime we contacted with the CIC, I mean camping charges, the government officials, and the Triple RC Rehabilitation Commissioner. So we had to take their permission, sometimes their support. It took some time, but the thing is that on the ground level, we got some volunteers, and it was not very rewarding job for them, but they were very interested to do it because of our approach. That approach is very unique. There are 22, more than 2200 learning centers, and all of the learning centers had one special sort of non-formal education framework that was mostly propagated by BRAC and UNICEF, and have been being used for over the last maybe 2-3 decades. And this one is the new approach. So now we are getting real recognition. Even at one point, the Triple RC, the Rehabilitation Commissioner, and the CICs visited the schools that we are running under this project, and they applauded. They really praised us for this kind of approach and expected that other NGOs would come up to do that. So the basic mathematics accounting, we did not have very big, rosy, fancy expectations, but we just created some benchmarks based on the level and capacity of the students. So learning benchmarks was basic literacy, basic mathematics and accounting knowledge, then basic communication skills, basic life skill trainings. These were the things. So there are the photographs, as you see, only a few. I believe Dr. Kausar has many, and recently we had a very big tri-council meeting for teachers, guardians, and students. And we were also there, that local host Rotary Club members, 5 members visited the project, visited the schools as well. And we have all those photographs. At some point, we'll be sharing that with you. Dr. Kausar have them with him, I believe. And I tried to download them today, but for some strange reasons, my computer system did not really cooperate with me, and this is why I could not proceed further with that. So there are some of the photographs, and is this moving? My slides are not moving. Let me.
We can see them change.
Do you see them move?
We see the photos right now. We're in
You
the
see the
FANE.
photos. We have some other things there. Just allow me a few seconds. I believe something is missing here. It's not going because we have some other. Okay, let me just. It got frozen for some strange reasons. But I have a backup and I am running once again from there. Just allow me a minute. We are at the very beginning of the presentation. Now these are the photographs. Anyway, I don't know what went wrong with this, but okay, I can now share with you the outcomes of the just give me a second. Do you see this page? I'm going page by page for, I don't know, for. Do you see this page? Learning focus, non-formal and transformative education, that means.
Yes, we see it. Yes.
Okay, I am trying to expand it. Oh no, it's going again to for, I don't know why it's not working that way. After that is going to the first slide. But anyway, I am showing you just part by part. So this is it. The learning focus was non-formal and transformative education. And we are following Myanmar curriculum. It is government rule that at least 30% should be from the host community, and that is why we are following NCTB curriculum, I mean Bangladesh national curriculum. Then age groups, there are two age groups, 11 to 14, and others are 15 to 19. The 15 to 19 are older adolescents. They're from host communities, and others are from Rohingya communities. There are reasons to select them this way because most of the host community girls a little bit older, and they left school. They got dropped out maybe 7-8 years back. So it was a big challenge for us. At the same time, it fitted with our mission that we need to have those who are almost non-literate. Then transformation stage began. Now that formal schooling is over, at this stage, our facilitators, teachers, and the implementers and the ground level, they are going from home to home, but we are planning to have them in the classroom session because it is very difficult to follow up. The camp is very large, very big. The weather is not good all the time, and there are security problems. So if one student go to teach another student, and if that student is far from her neighborhood or her household, probably the family members, especially parents and guardians, won't allow them, won't permit them to go outside some, but to some distance. After some distance, they don't want them to go far from their house, and this has become a very big challenge for many of the students, those who have already graduated in the first phase, who have a good command over speaking, listening, then reading and writing. Now they have already selected their peer learners. Maybe it's now up to 70% accomplished. We got about 70%, another 30% are also being collected. We are following up the activities almost everyday basis. Probably the rest 30% will be also added in this. So at this stage, 100 students have collected so far about 70 peer learners, and they are serving as peer educators. We did not start formal schooling. This is just the ice breaking stage. They're communicating with them, giving them the sense of activities that are gonna take place. But the biggest challenge, as I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, that the biggest challenge is the distance locality, because nowadays all of the adolescents are some way connected with different NGO activities, different programs and different interventions. So they can't really make time. And when there are some, those who are left out and those who our graduated students can select, they may not make time because they are involved in other projects, life skill project or handicraft project or art and painting project. So all of them are somehow this way or that way engaged in different types of activities. It became very difficult for us to find another 100. Anyway, so this is the timeline that we followed. So we began in May, the first workshop, and then June, recruitment process in July. In June, we did area mapping and reconnaissance, field feasibility study, checking, going from house to house, then looking for the teachers, advertisement. All those formalities were done in June. In July, we completed recruitment of teachers and the first workshop with them, then teachers training took place in early August. At the same time, we started school. So August, first week of August, July, last week of July and first week of August was training and their refresher. At the same time, evaluation of the capacity of the teachers. Then they were engaged. We started to keep strong, monitoring activities. We employed strong monitoring activities on their performance and everything. And whenever we found there were some sort of adjustments needed, we did that. So monitoring was very strong in September, and it was completely monitoring focused. It gave us a clear understanding that some teachers were not performing that well. We needed to replace them with new set of teachers. We did that. So we employed, because we needed to recruit 2 teachers from Bangladesh community, Bengali speaking teachers, and 2 from the Myanmar community, Rohingya communities. It is a very big challenge to find 2, not highly skilled, just semi-skilled, or just basically, just marginally skilled teachers. It's very difficult to find some of them, because if there are any who has gone to schools before, they have high demand in the job market in Rohingya camps. So it was a big challenge for Prantik and us to find teachers. So we found some who were very interested, but we had to make them. Then we got volunteers from the community, and they are given some incentives to do their volunteering jobs. This is pretty much it, and schools went very well up to December. We have done our first phase, completed the first phase in December, and the evaluation and the final exams and everything are taking place after 15th of February today. Today is the complete phase out date, and they are waiting to hear from me today. I was waiting to hear from them. The day is over. They have given me some feedback that it went very well, and I also received their report maybe 10 minutes before this presentation. They have already sent me, it is dead of night in Bangladesh. Still, they sent me the report about the teacher evaluation and the student evaluation and everything. So everything is done. The second phase will be starting from tomorrow, 16th of, it is test experimenting the transformative model. We now are going to teach the peer learners by the peer educators, especially those students who have just graduated from the school. So this is a very intensive phase, and probably the whole March will be very busy for the Prantik people and for us as well. I have one person who I introduced to before, Mr. Imran. He is also a university teacher, faculty member there, and he is the monitoring officer that we recruited to take care of things almost on an everyday basis. So he will be very much there, and I will be going back to Bangladesh once again in April 28th, and we'll be returning to Canada on June 28th. So all the whole 2 months will be spent in the field, in field work and doing the final evaluation, checking out everything, whether things are going well, whether we need it. Because the main objective is to learn lessons. There are challenges. These are the recurring challenges: early marriage, conservative. These people are still very conservative, although they are coming out of their shells and conservativeness quite fast. Still, they are very conservative people. Then forced confinement of girls for security reasons and for religious purposes as well. Relocation, some of them are relocating to Bhasanchar, others are moving to other camps. These sort of relocations are taking place under the guidance of the government and camp administration there. So it is also a challenge that some of our students will be dropped out eventually. Seasonality, it's as you understand, it is very difficult to predict in Bangladesh, especially in that region. Insurgency is a new problem. Government surveillance is undue sometimes. Sometimes they just suspect everyone, whoever are working there. These are the challenges. Frequent camp rules. Government, the administrators keep changing the rules almost every now and then. Then lack of physical facilities and structures. This is one of the most important part that we need to, especially I would request Rotary International or local host club to pay attention to. There are schools, but toilet is the biggest problem. Many students don't want to come there because there is no toilet, and girls need it more than boys. And they are also asking for prayer rooms too. So prayer rooms is manageable, but toilets are very dire need at this moment, and we need some help there. We need to extend our help out there. Then period of lack of motivation among parents, although we did some motivation sessions for the parents. We sat with them and we had 2 tri-council meetings, teacher, parents, and guardians. And there we tried our best, but the thing is that still there are different reasons and practical reasons. This is why they are not really that upfront to allow their daughters to go outside household after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And then there are some challenges, emerging challenges. These ones are duplication and redundancy. There are many NGOs at this moment, and many of them are just copying and pasting, copy pasting others' programs. Sometimes we see that our activities are also being copied there. So it creates some confusion among the administrators that, okay, whether you are doing the same thing the others are doing, and we can't say that, no, those people copied from. These are some of the problems that we are managing there at the grassroots level. Other one is relief dependence. They have become very relief dependent, and whatever intervention, whatever services we want to extend to them, they ask first, okay, what are we getting actually? What kind of materials, stuffs, goods, and food or dresses or clothes or whatever it is. So relief dependence is a big problem still there, and we are managing that. Sometimes we are complying with their needs just to keep them in the classroom. High inflation is another problem at this moment. Many of them want to go out to do some jobs, whatever kind of jobs they can do, just to make their family.
Sorry to interrupt, Helal.
Yeah,
Sorry to
sure.
interrupt. Can we just wrap up in a couple of minutes, please?
Yes, we are almost there. We are
Yeah.
wrapping it up. And then overwhelming cost in communication household. These are some of the challenges there, but lessons learned is very unique at this moment. Overall, it's very successful. High potential of female adolescents, transformative learning, I think will be successful. Strategic learning lesson is that transformation is most effective within closed circles, households. The thing is that the kids, They are now teaching their parents, their fathers, their mothers, their sisters, and other family members inside the household. So it is working very well there, other than just going out. Then for futuristic adjustments and adaptation needs, they are asking for vocational trainings. We would be adding that probably in the next phase. And there is a specific trend. Normally, the younger ones are very receptive to the education and they are learning fast than the senior ones, host community ones. Community specific, some needs are there. Host community learners are much less motivated. So others are Rohingya adolescents are these girls are very motivated. The stakeholder engagement in that front, we were very successful. People were very supportive, and even the government people were extending all sorts of supports that we needed whenever we needed. Then implementing organizations capability, I would say superior. Now, this is Prantik is one of the best partners that we chose. Rotary host clubs support and cooperation is also often adequate, and the students' feedback, they are asking for that it needs to be extended to another 3 years, because once we are lost, we will be, losing all the connections, and we don't want to lose that because they're enjoying this education system. So thank you very much. This is pretty much it, and I would take any question if you have.
Thank you
These are
very
some
much.
of the
Hilal.
pictures and photographs of the classrooms and others. You are
Okay.
most welcome.
Thank you so very much for that